thought my neighbor was just weird. Turns out he was running a drug lab and testing it on birds in his basement. So this happened last year, and I still don't fully believe it unless I look at the police report. I live in a pretty boring suburban area. Lawns trimmed, kids on scooters, the whole thing. My neighbor Mark, and not his real name, was that classic strange but harmless guy. Mid-40s, never smiled, always wore gloves even in summer. He told everyone he was a freelance biochem consultant, which sounded fake but also boring enough that no one asked follow-up questions. The first red flag should have been the birds. Every morning, there were birds everywhere around his house. Pigeons, sparrows, even crows. At first, I thought he was feeding them. Then I noticed some of them were wrong, flying in circles, slamming into walls. One literally walked backward for like 10 seconds and then fell over. I joked about it online and people told me to call animal control. I didn't. Big mistake. Things escalated when the smell started. Not weed, not chemicals exactly. Just this sour, metallic stink coming from his basement vents at night. Sometimes I'd hear loud music down there, mixed with what sounded like flapping and metal cages rattling. Again, I ignored it. Because who wants to be that neighbor? The turning point came when a crow crashed through my window at 3 a.m. It was alive. Barely. Its eyes were dilated like crazy and it was shaking nonstop. Animal control finally took it seriously and sent it to a lab. 2 days later, cops showed up at my door asking about Mark. Turns out Mark had converted his basement into a full-on illegal drug lab. Homemade stimulants, hallucinogens, stuff no one had even officially classified yet. And instead of animal testing through legal channels, he was using birds. Dozens of them. He'd capture them, dose them with experimental drugs, and observe behavioral changes. He kept spreadsheets, color-coded charts, video logs. The birds around the neighborhood weren't being fed. They were escaping. When police raided his house, they found cages stacked to the ceiling, IV setups made from aquarium tubing, and notebooks describing which drugs made birds aggressive, docile, or completely lose their sense of direction. Apparently, he believed birds were the perfect test subjects because no one notices when they disappear. He was arrested on the spot, federal charges, the house was condemned. Now, every time I hear birds outside my window, I feel this weird mix of relief and guilt. And yeah, when Reddit says, trust your gut, maybe don't wait until a drugged crow commits a home invasion to listen. TLDR, ignored my creepy neighbor. Turns out he was running an illegal drug lab in his basement and testing experimental drugs on birds. The birds